Hello, hello, hello. Konnichiwa. Welcome to our golf travel show. I am very excited about today's episode as the golf experience in Japan is so unique and has impressed me every single time I was there. And I am not the only one feeling that way. My colleagues in the global golf tourism industry share my sentiments. And so does everyone else I have ever talked to who has experienced golf in Japan. I have a very special guest from Japan joining me tonight. It's Aya Chiara. Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule and for joining us onto tonight's call. Welcome, Aya.
Hi. Hello. My name is Aya from Japan. I hope we will welcome you to Japan for golf and tourism.
Yes. Well, Aya worked for the Ritz-Carlton company for 8 years, where she learned the fundamentals for service excellence. She started her career in tourism in a destination management company back in 2010. And that was at a time when Japan was in its infancy stage for international tourism. Aya gained the trust from her international partners, and as a result, she received an award as the best luxury DMC in the world by Pure Life Experiences. Today, Aya serves as the CEO of the Golf Japan, the best golf tour operator company in Japan. Once again, thank you, Aya, for being with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
For those of you who don't know me, I have been passionately serving the golf tourism industry in different capacities and with various heads on all continents for about 27 years now. And I've been fortunate to play golf in 89 countries around the world. But as I mentioned in the beginning, there has been no other country that has impacted, touched, and wowed me so much as my golf experiences in Japan. And I think there are many reasons for the uniqueness and attractiveness of the destination. And the rather unique golf culture is certainly one of them. So let's zoom in on the golf and on some of the most distinct differences. Unlike in most Western countries, the dress code is still super important in Japan. A collared shirt is necessary. Some courses even require a jacket. Jeans and sandals are never appropriate. And in Japan, you never wear hats in the restaurant. You leave them outside the restaurant. And that's something that I was very surprised about. Is this still very common, Aya?
Yeah, it is. So there's a special place to keep your hat at the entrance of the restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, this is very unique for Americans, especially for Americans, because they keep their hats on, everywhere, every place. So it was certainly unique to experience that for a lot, for myself as well as for my American friends as well.
Okay.
Well, similar to most other courses in Asia, all golfers have to check in at a reception desk, similar to a hotel. And once processed, you will receive a designated locker key for the locker room. In addition, this key also serves as a credit card, and everything you consume on the course or afterwards in the clubhouse can be charged to this key. And this is very, convenient and easy to handle, and it's simply wonderful. There is also a safety box in the clubhouse, where you can actually put your valuables. And that's very convenient as well. That's very common in Asia in general, but I have seen that a lot, especially in Japan. Well, this is certainly one of the most unique features in Japan. You know, it's when playing golf in Japan, you have a buggy for the entire foursome. This is awesome, and I think that's awesome. It adds to the social aspect of the game. I just love it. And at some courses, you can also have a caddy that pushes all 4 bags. And the caddies are all extremely well trained. Like at most Asian countries, these caddies really add to the experience on the golf course. Do these caddies speak any English, Aya?
I should say 95% of caddy don't really speak English.
But they can still...
they know how to serve to someone who doesn't understand Japanese, but the communication might be limited.
Yeah, but they still know, you know, they still read the greens very well. They still understand your abilities rather quickly. They know which club to use, and they just serve you on the course, and it really enhances the experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So they still add the value, but, you know, it might be difficult for you to actually chat.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes a smile is worth more than a lot of talking, right?
Yeah, you feel their hospitality for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, at most courses, and that's another thing that impressed me immensely, was that you can actually, that you have a remote, that you can actually move your buggy by means of a remote. So, you know, you can walk on a fairway with your clubs, and you can basically move your cart by pushing a button. I mean, this is impressive. And, you know, you just see the car moving forward. It was, you know, it certainly wows you when you see that for the very first time. And everything in the clubhouse is, you know, set up professionally at each course, you know, the green conditions, the speed of the green, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's all very professionally handled. How many of the golf courses do actually have these carts that can be moved by you know, that can be moved remotely?
Well, I should say many of the courses introduce this cart, but some of the traditional courses, they still offer the play without cart.
Okay, walking courses, yeah.
Exactly.
So then, but then in this case, you will have a caddy. Right? Yes. All right. Well, this is another distinct feature of golf in Japan, or one of the main differences to any other country that I have ever experienced golf, where I've ever experienced golf. And that's a typical golf day in Japan. And Aya, do you want to talk a little bit about it? It's a full day activity, as you can see on this slide.
Exactly. In Japan, playing golf is actually for entire day. And in Japan, most of the courses require you to check in, let's say, around 1 hour before your tee off time. So let's say if your tee time is 9 o'clock in the morning, you need to check in by 8 a.m. And then you enjoy first 9 holes. Then let's say finish around 11 o'clock. Then you need to have a lunch, which is mandatory. So you need to have a lunch break for almost 1 hour. And then after that, you will start last 9 holes. So finish around 2:30, and normally taking bath, shower, like a big bath, and then check out around 5 or 4 and back to your home. So yes, it is for whole day activity.
Full day activity, yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about the onsen, about the bath in a few minutes. But I do want to emphasize lunch, you know. I mean, you do have lunch, mandatory lunch as you said, after 9 holes. And there are some other countries in the world, such as South Africa, where you do have a mandatory lunch stop as well. But nothing can be compared to the delicious lunch you get served at a Japanese golf club. That's for sure. I mean, as you can see on this slide, I mean, this is a whole gourmet menu, basically, Is lunch included in the green fee?
Most of the courses, yes, offer the green fee, including the lunch.
Okay. I think there are a few courses, especially in more touristy areas like Hokkaido and Okinawa Prefecture, where courses do not offer lunch. Is that correct?
Exactly. Only these 2 destinations in Japan don't offer lunch break.
Okay. Well, I had a very special treat once at Tsu Country Club, where we were served Matsusaka beef, which is one of the most delicious beefs in the world, freshly prepared by a celebrity chef right at the turn. I mean, it doesn't get any better. My golf wasn't that good anymore on the back 9, but that's a different story. I mean, this lunch break was absolutely, it was highly memorable. That was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I still think about it, as it was yesterday. When you get back to the clubhouse, you're typically welcomed with a towel and some hot tea at many of the courses. And your golf bag is taken care of. It will be moved to your car or your bus or shipped to your next location, wherever you're heading to, And there's a very special service, which is called golf, help me, the Japanese word, daku. Yes. Yes, and it's super convenient. I mean, I've never seen that anywhere else in the world, and it's such a nice and convenient way to ship your luggage, and in this specific case, your golf clubs, to the next location. You can basically travel hassle-free from the airport to the hotel, to the golf course, or from one golf course to the next one, It will just make your life so much easier, and I have taken advantage of it myself many, many times. So how does this service work, Aya?
Okay. When you release your golf bag from one place, let's say hotel where you stay, and then on the registration card, you specifically mention your golf round day, tee time, and your name, and then ship to the golf course directly. And by the time you arrive at the golf course, your bag is already there on the cart.
Yeah, I mean, the service culture is simply amazing. So how much does a service like this cost if you ship it to the next golf course?
Yeah, the cost is depending on the destination, distance, but I should say around 20 US to maximum 30 US dollars per bag.
Okay. I mean, this is super reliable, hassle-free, convenient, easy. You need to know that in Japan, you often travel by, the bullet train, by the Shinkansen, which is the best means of transportation in Japan. And it's the fastest train in the world, by the way, with a speed record of 374 miles, I think it is. And that means that you could basically travel, if you're in the US, from New York to Montreal in less than an hour. So it's super fast, it's amazing, it's convenient, it's reliable, it's always on time. And, when you ship your golf clubs to the next club or to the next hotel or wherever you want the clubs to be, you take the Shinkansen and, it's absolutely awesome and convenient and an experience besides. You can work on your laptop, you have Wi-Fi. It's just a wonderful means of transportation in Japan.
Yeah, and very clean.
And very clean, yeah, like everything else in Japan, So you were talking about the public bath a little bit. I think this is another awesome experience that's part of the entire golf experience. When your clubs are taken care of and you come back into the clubhouse and then you want to enjoy, or there's something that you enjoy after your round of golf, you relax in an onsen. That's, as I said, a public bath next to the locker room. And these onsen or these baths can basically be found in most of the golf clubs, correct?
Yes, most of the I should say all golf courses have this big bath, and most of them it's hot spring.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels so good, after your round of golf, you're stiff and to soothe your muscles, and it's a wonderful experience. And as I said, it's part of the entire experience. But it's not that you just jump into the pool or dive into the pool. There are certain rules, as at most places in Japan, right? And you want to talk a little bit about them?
Okay. Well, if we go one by one, maybe you won't be relaxed. So I just mentioned a few points.
Okay.
Basically, it's a public bath. Most of the public bath in Japan, you need to enjoy without swimming clothes. Means basically you need to go there naked.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you feel shy, but this is the rule and everybody does. So you don't need to feel anything.
Yeah.
And another major point is some of them don't really welcome someone who has a tattoo on the body.
Yeah,
So
I heard about that, yes.
it might be difficult for certain people. I know tattoo to you doesn't mean anything, or it's more like a fashion, but tattoo in Japan means gang. So in olden time, so
Yeah.
they still have this image and they don't really welcome in public area.
Yeah. But these onsens in the at the golf courses, they are in the next to the locker room, and to be honest, I have not seen very many people in there whenever I went to one of those, and I learned from my Japanese friends there are some tricks to get around that, because in US and also in Europe, a lot of people have tattoos, so you can put something over your tattoo, or whatever it is, or just
Yeah, some of the golf courses offer you like a patch to cover your tattoo.
Yeah.
Temporary.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry so much.
Yeah, I think so, because I've never seen anybody, mentioning anything to one of my friends who actually has a tattoo, and there was not a big issue. There I think there's some more flexibility now, because there are more international visitors.
Yeah,
playing golf
I
at
should
these
say,
different
yes.
places. Yeah. All right. So, and once you're done, you will actually settle your bill at an automated electronic machine. That's more and more common now in Japan as well. I remember when I had, just breakfast with Suzuki-san at one of the golf clubs, and then we didn't pay for the breakfast at the restaurant. We didn't pay anyplace else. But when we left the golf course, we actually went to one of these machines and, paid our bill. There was at Seta Golf Club.
Okay.
And more golf clubs are actually getting these machines, these electronic machines.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think showing respect on the golf course is another distinct feature of golf in Japan. And respectfulness was best demonstrated by Hideki Matsuyama's caddy Shota after Hideki's Masters win last year. Shota removed his hat and bowed his head after he returned the pin at the last hole, after Hideki's win at hole number 18. and the gesture went viral, as this kind of respect is not very common in the Western world. And I have experienced so many other scenarios myself as well. I specifically remember a round of golf at one of the courses in Mie, where I played with my dear friend Suzuki-san and another friend from Singapore. And at hole number 7, we decided to stop playing as it had, started to rain heavily, and we had some assignments anyway. So we intended to drive back to the clubhouse, and there was a pairing, a foursome ahead of us, and they were just teeing off. So we stopped. I believe that this is common etiquette and anywhere in the world. But I was certainly surprised when Suzuki-san waited till the foursome had finished playing the entire hole. Wow. So that was certainly something we would never do in the Western world, But that just shows and expresses that, that kind of respect that I was just referring to. And traditions and respect towards nature and other people are truly important in Japan, and that's not just on, but also off the golf course, and I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything else, or anything else that comes to your mind right now, Maya? I mean, there's still so much to share, and I will share some info. I will share some info at the end,
Okay.
where our viewers and our international golfers can actually learn more about golf in Japan. So let's move to the impressive number of golf courses that are actually in Japan. And as I said, the golf culture is certainly unique, but Japan in general is a very exotic country, especially for Western golfers. And very few know that Japan is the country with the second most golf courses in the world. I mean, did you know that Japan has more courses than the rest of Asia put together? And it has more courses than the UK and Ireland combined. I mean, this is mind-boggling. Aya, you were one of the very first destination management companies that welcomed international visitors to Japan back in 2010, you said. And the development of international golf tourism started even later in 2015, when Mie Prefecture and Suzuki-san launched the Mie Golf Tourism Organization. So why is golf travel in Japan still in an infancy stage with regards to international tourism? What do you think?
I guess most of even we do have many golf courses, 95% of the golf courses in Japan are membership. So they don't really have a culture to welcome visitor, or especially non-Japanese visitors. So, and then as I mentioned, most of them they don't really speak English. So there is a huge barrier, and they were also busy by domestic golfers only. So they were not really eager to get new market, which is international golfers.
Yeah, but the situation is changing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So according to the latest R&A report, there are a total of 3,140 fabulous golf courses across thousands of islands in Japan, and all have a distinct topography, scenery, and layout. We don't have time to go into this today, but we'll have a dedicated show on the plethora of different golf experiences in all the different destinations, ranging from bucket list courses to hidden golf jams. But, and that's the other amazing thing, Japan doesn't just trump with quantity, but also with quality with regards to its golf courses. There is no other country in Asia that boasts more top 100 courses and more top 10 courses than Japan. In other words, there are 28 courses ranked in Asia's top 100 courses. Both Thailand and Vietnam, the other two main golf destinations in Asia, have only 5.
Mm.
So that's very, very impressive. Well, these are 2 of them. Hirono Golf Course, which is Japan's #1, and the spectacular Fuji Golf Course at Kawana, which is accessible to international golfers. But you have to stay on site. And the variety of courses in the country is huge. And as I said before, all courses in the 46 prefectures impress with different scenery and topography. Some are dramatic seaside courses and others are inland, but have huge water features, such as the one here on the right, which is the excellent golf course Ise Otori in Mie Prefecture. This is one of my favorite ones, Tsu Country Club. A challenging mountainous course with an amazing hospitality. And the photo on the right shows Ise Country Club, which was the first course in Japan with double greens. By the way, this is another distinct feature of golf courses in Japan. Having these double greens, that's pretty much the norm in Japan, to keep the greens in the best possible condition all year round.
Yeah.
One green has warm weather grass, like Bermuda, and the other one has cool weather grass, like bent grass. So that's really awesome. Some of Japan's courses have staged numerous PGA and LPGA tour events, such as the Seto North course in Shiga province, which is this one. And it's a very women-friendly course. And I think IRU included this course in your EPIC itinerary, which has been specifically customized for women golfers. There's still, as you just said, lots of private courses in Japan. But the good thing is that many of them are now opening their doors to select groups of visiting golfers. And
Yes.
yeah. So, you may think that playing golf for visitors is all super expensive. Well, I can tell you that value for money is excellent. The green fees on some of the finest courses, including lunch, sell for less than $100.
Yes.
And I know that you have so much more insights into this. Can you expand a little bit on that? Can you share some more information on that?
Yeah, as you mentioned, everybody has this fixed mind that, golf in Japan is very expensive, but actually not.
Yeah.
And yes, some of the courses are, offering quite expensive green fee, but as just Avery mentioned that many of the very good courses offer the green fee, including lunch, less than $100. And then it doesn't dilute the quality. The quality is still good, but this is a price. So you don't need to really expect expensive, trip, because the round cost is not actually much.
Yeah. Transportation transportation is expensive, but if you can take the Shinkansen, or, there are some ways around that, but the golf itself, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, exactly. Golf
Yeah.
itself is not that expensive.
Yeah. And on these top-notch courses, well-maintained, top-notch, perfect service, lunch included, not just a snack, not just a hamburger, hot dog. It's a gourmet lunch, and value for money is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to talk some more about the food experiences. as the gastronomy in Japan is big and important, and this is reflected on the golf course as well. Unfortunately, this is all the time we have left today. But what I want to do is I certainly want to encourage you to register for our next live masterclass or webinar on the unique golf culture and gourmet experience in Japan at www.golfinfojapan.info. golfinjapan.info. Or even better, experience this wonderful country firsthand. It's an experience like no other, and it will transform your life as it has transformed mine. You will also get a link on this specific site that I just referred to on golfinjapan.info. And you'll find a link to an amazing itinerary of Japan's first epic golf adventure that has been specifically designed for women golfers and which has already created some buzz in the women's golf world in Australia, Europe, and the US. Aya-san will be back to share some insights about this highly unique tour in one of the next episodes. For today, thank you, Aya, for joining me on this call. I will hopefully see you in person very soon in Japan. Once again, thank you. Goodbye. Oyasumi nasai.